It had been some time since Nepheron called me in to meet with him, but my mind kept returning to the events of that day. The man frightened me, and yet there was something else, something more to him. A deep sadness, perhaps? I had heard Osiris mention it before, that his younger brother had had an exceptionally rough childhood. Their parents favored Osiris heavily, often ignoring Nepheron completely as they celebrated his brother's accomplishments instead. Thus, Osiris had felt sorry for him, which is why he had allowed his brother to stay in the castle with him after it was built. To think that a brother's sympathy would lead to his downfall. When I reached the throne room, I was shocked to find that the Emperor was not there, nor was he in any of the other places I looked. This didn't seem right. He couldn't have just disappeared. Asking around, I discovered that he hadn't been seen at all that day. Something was definitely wrong, and I was starting to get worried. Let's go and find him. Filled with worry, I left immediately to go find the Emperor. Along the way, I passed a familiar face. It was Prince Durin. Oh, hello, Zuleika. Something wrong? Durin, do you happen to know if there's anything wrong with His Majesty? Are we on a first-name basis now, Zuleika? No, I don't know of anything in particular. But we also know that that's a lie. Because in the other route, or even if you choose not to go after Nepheron, it's Durin who comes to get us. Like, hey, His Majesty wants to see you. I know that he's locked himself up in his room all day, but other than that... Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Why do you ask? Have you heard something? Durin isn't the type to intentionally lie. Of course. Of course. He's a good boy. No, I don't know any more than you, but I'm going to go visit him now. Good luck then, and be careful. When I arrived in his chambers, I realized that my worry had been well deserved. The man before me looked very sick and weak, and was resting in bed. This was completely different from the usual strong, menacing presence of the proud emperor, the one that made my skin crawl. For once, he actually seemed human, like a normal person. Could this truly be the same man? My dear Zuleika, I'm so happy to see you. What happened? Are you sick? Do you need a doctor? This is punishment. But don't worry yourself, little princess. I've already taken the antidote, so I'll be fine in a few hours. Antidote? You mean you were poisoned? You said this was punishment. Punishment for what? I have drops, do I? Is that a thing? I have no clue what that is. Not novice Twitch streamer here. He frowned and averted his gaze, staying like that for several minutes. Then he looked back at me, staring intently into my eyes. I'm going to tell you something I haven't told anyone else. You must promise to keep this a secret at all costs, or else both of our lives will be in danger. What could possibly pose a threat to you? I promise. There's a group of gods which controls not only this nation, but the entire continent. You mean the Great Council? If that were the case, there wouldn't be any suffering in this world. No, I'm talking about another group, one which manipulates everything from the shadows. They are the gods who have been cast out of the Great Council for being too wicked and corrupt, and they are known only as the Order. They are the incarnation of evil itself. Unfortunately, I've been swept up in their game, a game in which they make all the rules. Recently, they told me to raise the taxes throughout Tyreka. I tried to tell them the people couldn't afford to pay anymore. Not after all the damage suffered by the war, and, well, you see the result. That's horrible. We have to do something about this. We can't let them keep using you like this, especially at the expense of the people. We have to stop them. He looked at me and smiled. Thank you for worrying about me, Princess. But I'm afraid this is one battle we cannot win. We'll find a way to stop them, I swear. For the people, and for you, there has to be a way. I sat there thinking for several minutes, then came up with an idea. You've been dealing with them for a while, right? Do you know who they are? Yes, for the most part. Why? We just have to lure them to the castle, catch them by surprise, and take them out so that they can't hurt anyone else. There we go, Zuleika, just casually suggesting murder again. In almost every route. Oh, Zuleika. You are truly amazing, Princess. You don't even know what you're up against, yet you're determined to fight and defeat them. I can see why they call you the Courageous. I smiled back, glad to see that his mood had improved. We will defeat them, I'm sure of it. It sounds like Nefferon is feeling better and everything in the castle is back to normal, so I have some free time to spend. What should I do? Oh hey, what brings you here? Let's talk. You know, Zuleika, you're not like the other girls. You're more like a guy. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. I mean that I can talk to you freely, as if you're not a girl. Wait, that didn't come out right either. What I mean is... It's alright, Durin. I think I know what you're trying to say. You do? Yeah, I like boys too. I didn't know you swung that way though. Good for you. But it's not... never mind. What should I do? Let's talk to Nefferon. Your presence always brightens my day, Princess. I must admit, you're not what I expected. Oh, how so? You're not such a bad guy after all, Neffy. Neffy? Nefferon sounds too sinister, so I'll call you Neffy instead. I'm honored to receive such a cute pet name from you, Princess. But never call me that again. Aw, you're no fun. And let's discuss politics, which I think is the same as the first one. I never knew that peace treaties were so complicated and difficult to maintain. When each party has its own interests in mind, it's hard to come to a compromise and to convince the other parties to keep their promises. I suppose that's why treaties are sometimes broken, as unfortunate as it is. Why can't we all just get along? Shortly after, Emperor Nefferon once again called me in to meet with him. Thank you for meeting with me like this, Princess. I called you here to inform you that I've come up with the perfect plan to lure the Order here. You have? That's great. What's the plan? We're going to host a ball at the castle. What? A formal ball, as in a social event that involves dancing. As a princess, I think you'd be familiar with the term. I am familiar with the term. Why the surprise, then? That's just, not the kind of master plan I had in mind. Couldn't you just call them in for a meeting or something? I could, but this way is much more fun, wouldn't you agree? I guess. The ball is scheduled for a week from today. You should take this time to prepare. Speaking of preparing, what am I going to do about finding a dance partner? I think I need some air. I decided to get out of the castle for a bit and head into town. What should I do? So there's another round of the dancing competition. Yeah, okay, we'll start there. Welcome to the biggest event of the year, the 9th annual dancing competition. Test your skill against the best dancers in the nation. It's great to have you here. Let the competition begin. Please choose a dance partner. The second dance will be the former Princess Zuleika, known for her courage and golden tongue, dancing with none other than the infamous Emperor Nefferon. Alright, let's do this. To dance with a stunning beauty like you is truly an honor, Princess. Perfect. Well done, Princess. On to the next one. Perfect. Truly splendid. On to the next one. Perfect. You're doing very well, Princess. On to the next one. Well done, Princess. On to the next one. Perfect. As I thought, you're a remarkable dancer. Congratulations on winning first place in the second round. Your prize is 500 gold. Thank you for participating. We hope to see you again next year. What should I do? Considering that Nefferon's already at a red heart, we probably don't actually need to do anything here, but I will go ahead and work as a sales clerk. It was the same text as before. And maybe see what I can buy. Wow, I have over 1,000 gold. We could buy 2 charm boosters. Or maybe a charm booster and an intellect booster. Supposedly, this stuff will make you smarter instantly. I wonder if I should try some. Should I buy this item? Yes. Sure. Let's, Oh, oops. I got too clicky. Welcome to the library, the center for useful information. What would you like to do? Let's do some research. I'm really underprepared for this ball, but maybe these books on how to dance will help. When I returned to the castle, I found Nefferon waiting for me. Ah, there you are, Princess. I have something I wish to discuss with you. Yes? I would be honored if you would attend the ball with me. Really? I would love to, Your Majesty. Please, Zuleika, when we're alone, feel free to call me by name. You have earned that right. Very well, Nefferon. So now we have a ridiculous amount of charm and a pretty high amount of intellect as well. Not much gold, but I think that's okay because there's only one chapter left and it's the ball. So not too worried about that. We should be good to go. It was now the day of the ball and I was feeling anxious. There were so many things that could go wrong. What if all of the Order members didn't show up? What if they caught on to our plan and brought backup? Would we be able to handle it? What's wrong, little princess? I turned to see the Emperor himself standing before me. Nefferon, I didn't expect to see you here. So, to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? I wanted to tell you that I've had your dress for tonight delivered to your room. I had designed and made just for you. I believe it will accent your beauty marvelously. I hope you find it to your liking. I remained silent for a long while as the two of us looked at each other intently, each trying to gauge the other's feelings. Well, if you have nothing to say, I suppose I'll take my leave. But as Nefferon turned to leave, I caught him by the sleeve. Wait, I'm worried about tonight. Will it be okay? Will you be okay? He turned back to me and looked at me with a serious expression now. I'm worried too, and to be honest, I can't promise anything. However, as long as you're by my side, my princess, I'm sure it will turn out all right. You will stay with me, won't you? I hesitated, still not sure whether I could trust this man or not. Before I realized what was happening, he had planted his lips on mine, and I instinctively closed my eyes and kissed back. There was something to it that I couldn't quite put my finger on. Something pained about it, perhaps. Red flag. Another red flag. I'll see you tonight, little princess. After biding my time around the castle until nightfall, I returned to my bedroom to get ready. Come in. I'm sorry for interrupting, Zuleika, but we need to talk. No one else was supposed to know about the plan, but suddenly I feared the young prince might have found out about it. What's wrong, Durin? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen tonight. I overheard some things from Nefferon. He's planning something, and whatever it is, it's not going to be good for any of us, especially you. Red flag. I'm worried about you, Zuleika, and I don't think you should go to the ball with him tonight. Come with me instead. I'll make sure he doesn't hurt you or anyone else ever again. I looked at him and could see that he was genuinely worried and frightened for my life. It was true that I hesitated when Nefferon asked me whether I would stay with him, but how could I leave him hanging at the last minute? He would surely be arrested by the royal guard, if not killed by the order. Would I be able to live with his death on my conscience? So, the game gives you a couple of chances to avoid the horrible fate that awaits you, like. But we're gonna ignore those. We're gonna pretend that we didn't notice the red flags. And yeah, we'll go with Durin, or we'll go with Nefferon. I'm sorry, Durin, but I promised that I would go to the ball with him tonight, and I intend to keep that promise, no matter what happens. You don't know him like I do, Zuleika. You can't trust him. The only one he has ever thought of is himself. Everything is to benefit him and only him. Red flag. Please, Zuleika, stop this foolishness and come with me. For your information, I know him better than you think, and I believe that what I'm doing is right. After tonight, you'll understand. Things will change for the better, I'm sure of it. Oh, Zuleika, you and your optimism, your naive optimism. You've been my best friend for as long as I can remember, and I thank you for always sticking by me all these years. But I've made my decision, and I will follow through with it. As my friend, I hope that you'll support me in this. But if not, then so be it. As he left in silence, I realized that a single tear was running down my cheek and quickly brushed it away. I had to be strong now, for all of our sakes. By the time I arrived at the ball, the room was full of guests, many of which I recognized as nobles from the High Court. As I entered, I searched the room for Nephron and quickly found him. Amazing. You're even more breathtaking than I thought. Thank you, Your Majesty. And now you can finally actually see her necklace in all its full glory, because, with the collar, you couldn't really see it, but you can definitely see it here. And it's something. It's definitely something. May I have this dance? Of course. The final dance will be the former Princess Zuleika, known for her courage and golden tongue, dancing with none other than the infamous Emperor Nephron. Tonight, let's dance like we mean it. To dance with someone as stunning as you is truly an honor, Princess. Sometimes the little arrows glitch a little. Like the sound cuts out. But you redo it and it sounds just fine. It's weird. I got distracted by that, but I think it's this one. Hey, perfect. Well done, Princess. On to the next one. Perfect. Truly splendid. On to the next one. Perfect. You're doing very well, Princess. On to the next one. With a lot of these, as long as you can remember the last, 2 or 3, you can generally figure it out. Perfect. Well done, Princess. On to the next one. Perfect. As I thought, you're a remarkable dancer. As the two of us danced, we glided flawlessly across the dance floor. The other guests looked on in awe as Nephron and I executed every move perfectly. For a while, I was able to lose myself in the motions, and forget about the horrible acts I was about to commit that night, but only for a while until cold reality set in. Hey, I got an achievement. It's time. While Nephron took care of the first one, it was my job to prepare a special treat for another. He was told to meet Nephron in the ballroom after everyone had left. I brewed the finest tea I could make, then poured half a vial of powerful poison into it. It's always poison. It's always poison. Having been made from dark Nalani magic, it was supposed to be able to kill the strongest and mightiest of beings, even a god. Though I had my doubts, there was no turning back now. When I arrived at the meeting place, however, I was shocked to find not a member of the order, but Nephron himself. I had a bad feeling about this. Red flag! Another red flag! Zuleika! Maybe you should listen! Get out of there! What are you doing here? What are you doing here, honey? Did something happen? I just needed to see you. Nephron, don't tell me you're having doubts about all of this. It's a bit late for that. No, that's not it. Zuleika, thank you so much for everything. I think that might be the first, or at least one of the first times that he said her name. I'm tempted to say it's the first, because everywhere else it's always princess or my princess. But now, he's calling her by name. I was shocked. This was completely out of character for him. Why was he doing this? Where was the person who was supposed to be there? I have always only been able to see people as resources to be used. I've never been able to connect with anyone but you. Even when I was forsaken by everyone else, you weren't afraid to touch me. Even when I did horrible things to you, you wanted to help me. You are like no one else. You make this pathetic life worth living. Don't say things like that. I need to say it. You need to hear it. All I want is to love you, and only you, with my entire being. I want to give you everything. And you, my princess, are the only one who can make me feel this way. Of all of the confessions, or, of all the romance scenes, just in general, of all the roots, I think Nephron's is actually the most, romantic. Certainly the most, passionate? Nephron, please, this isn't the time. This is the only time, don't you see? Everything ends tonight, one way or another. Nothing is going to end. We're going to take down the order just like we planned. We'll do it together. Much to my surprise, the Emperor started laughing. Red flag! Red flag! Red flag! It wasn't a funny laugh, but something else. A sinister laugh that made my skin crawl. My dear little princess, how naive can you be? I am the order. What do you mean? You said... I said a lot of things, my love. And just like my foolish brother, you fell for them all. How could you? I trusted you. That was your first mistake. Before I could say anything more, I felt a sharp pain in my stomach. Looking down, I first saw the blood, then the sword, then his hand, grasping it tightly. I love you, my princess. Then why? Let's appreciate this CG for a minute here. Yeah, that looks pretty brutal. Looks pretty brutal. Then why? That is why. That's precisely why. I told you that I want to give you everything. And the ultimate gift, my love, is death. Isn't it wonderful? In a last, desperate attempt, I freed a hand long enough to reach into my dress, take out the half-empty vial of poison, and poured it into my mouth. Nefferon looked at me curiously. What are you? Before he could finish, I forced my lips to his and pushed the cold liquid down his throat. He was shocked for a moment, but took the opportunity to kiss me with all of the intense passion that had brought us to this point. I kissed back until I couldn't hold on anymore. He held me tightly as the deadly poison took its effect, satisfied. It was, as far as he was concerned, the perfect ending. And that is my story. There you go. There you go, guys. That's what happens when you romance the villain. One of the comments I got back when I first put this out was from people appreciating the fact that I didn't go with the usual, like, love redeems all. No, you fell in love with a bad guy. Nefferon is not a good guy. He's not misunderstood. He's a horrible person. he's not a good person. This is not a good person. Not good. No bueno. Definitely not a good person. Alright. Well, that was Nefferon's route. Very exciting. And that was our last stream of that game. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this. As mentioned before, I only covered like the quote unquote best ending for each of the love interests. But there are 15 endings. So I only covered four endings of the 15. So if you would be interested in seeing some of the other endings, I would be happy to do some more playthroughs of those. But other than that, as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, that's it. We're done with this particular series. I would like to continue doing live streams once a week. But I think I'm gonna have to move them to Fridays. Because it's kind of inconvenient having them on Saturdays. And I think it'll be better for me to have them on Fridays. So I'll get my Twitch stream schedule updated and do that. I haven't decided what game I'm gonna stream next. But I was thinking of doing more like short, like more first reaction kinds of things for the next few weeks. Before jumping into what I think I want to do next, which is Hakuoki, if I can, as like a long form, streaming it over time. I'd really like to do Hakuoki if I can. I have to make sure that I'm not going to get in trouble for that because there was a news story recently about a player who streamed a visual novel specifically, and they weren't supposed to, and the game developer and publisher, I can't remember which, is now going to pursue legal action against them for doing that. I don't want to get sued. So I'll have to make sure that I can stream Hakuoki, but considering it's been out for a long time. I know the latest one just came out on Switch, but I'm not going to be playing the Switch version. I'm going to be playing the Steam version, which is Kyoto Winds and Edo Blossoms. And those have been out for a while, so I don't foresee any issues with streaming those, but I'll double check. But before we do that, we'll do some smaller games or smaller streams for a while, some more first reactions and stuff like that. If you have a game you'd like to watch me play, let me know. Otherwise, I'll find something that is interesting that I want to share with people. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.